Okay, sound should be there now. Wow, I can't believe what did I get, like 20 minutes in without even noticing that the levels weren't working? Wow. Welcome to Sunday. Sheesh. Either way, how's it going, guys? Again. That means the whole beginning of my stream was like me gesturing and basically nothing. No audio. Wow, that's crazy. Oh well. Silly mistake. Moving on. I was just working on this option selector widget. And Will, yeah, I was saying, hey Will, hey Square Peg, how's it going? Will, we stayed until like, I want to say 3:30 or 4 yesterday. Not that long after you left. Me and Jess and that new guy, Nitin, and Nick. Actually, those guys were both new. We all stayed and chatted and Dan. Oh no, Nitin left with you, I think. So me, Jess, and Dan and Nick ended up talking for a while. Yeah, but we stayed for like maybe half an hour longer. It was good stuff though. Yesterday's meetup was small, but good conversations. I hope you had a good time. Okay, now back to what I was doing. Trying to figure out the best solution for how the best approach for making an option selector here. This guy right here, where I click left and right, and I have an option in the middle here. In this case, which window mode, like full screen, windowed, full screen, or borderless full screen. Yeah, it was really cool to hear about everyone's projects. I mean, you've got your project. Dave is making good progress on his project, and really, it was really cool to see Dan show up too. The guy that is making that Solar Warden game. It's really great to see him again. I still think it's really funny that he didn't even know that he was on the Unreal Engine live stream. That me and Jess like revealed that to him. I still need to go. I still need to go. I need to go rag on Amanda for not telling him. I feel like that's kind of weird to like share a cool project but not notify the creator. I don't know. They could have like PM'd him on the forums or something. I thought that was kind of silly. All right. So anyway, so this widget here that I'm just gonna use window mode as a test setting. I need a way to, you know, go up and down the list. I think Solar Warden guy is used to work at SIG. Yeah, he Dan, the guy that comes to our meetup, he used to work on Star Citizen, and he worked at Crytek, I think, and he also used to work at BioWare. He's got a lot of experience. Really cool guy. A lot of fun stories to tell. Yeah, well, that's true. It could have been a simple mistake. Could have just forgotten, you know. I mean, she's super busy. They're all super busy, so I'm sure something like that could have just slipped through the cracks. It happens. But I still thought it was funny. Yeah, so like window mode, like let's say we have 3 options here. Then if I want to go this way towards the bottom of the list, and then go that way towards the top of the list. Time Splinters hype. Oh yeah, that was cool. He knew about the Time Splitters stuff. I didn't realize that Crytek was originally at some point trying to make a Time Splitters game, but they were gonna totally make it all generic like military shooter style. I did not know that. That's crazy to me. I used to love Time Splitters and Time Splitters 2, especially 2 when they introduced the level editor. God, that was so cool. I used to spend hours making levels with that. Alright, well, let's see. Not sending off any useful data except for that the button was clicked. If I only do that, then every time I have a selector, I'm gonna have to do a next to previous option here in the settings menu, right? That seems a bit much. But, okay, so I would need to like track an array, populate an array of options each time. How would I get the list of options? Well, in that case, I could probably just, actually, let's see, because it's not actually an array here. I'm kind of doing this myself. But if this proves to be too complex, I might just, or too weird, too hacky, maybe, I might just go and do a drop-down instead. There are things I really like about having an option selector like this, an inline option selector. I think it looks nice, and it feels pretty good, but drop-downs do have the advantage of letting you see many options at once when you open it and then you choose one. I'm also concerned about which one will be more controller friendly too when we add controller support, or keyboard friendly too, just for accessibility purposes. If someone needs to use the settings menu with a keyboard only. Of course, at that point, I don't know if they'd be able to play our game, because the mouse, you need to look around. Either way, something to think about. So if I just do this, then I'm gonna need to get, if I have an array here, then actually that might be a little weird. I might want to just create the array here, an array of each group of settings, you know, resolutions, window mode settings. So like, for example, I could create an array, window mode options. Is this an add-on or within the editor right now? I'm in the editor right now. This is UMG, Unreal Motion Graphics. This is what me and Dan were talking about a whole bunch yesterday. This is what you use to build menus and UI. You've got this designer tab here where you actually like place and lay out and style each of the individual widgets, so all the text, all the actual pieces of input, buttons, forms, drop-down menus, sliders, progress bars. You lay it out and style it all here, and then you come to the graph tab, and this is where you script all the behavior for all that stuff. Yeah, so let's see. Maybe I want to make arrays for each of the groups of settings right here in the settings menu. Maybe. But that seems like it's not the cleanest way to do it, but if it works, it works. And then maybe I'll come back to it later and do like a better, cleaner, more efficient approach. Right now I just want to kind of get this up and running and test my framework to see if it's really as good as I was trying to build it out to be. Otherwise I might have to change my approach to how I build our UI, because settings menus can get pretty complicated, so I want to make sure that it's like robust but like modular, you know, so that it's not like, you know, pages and pages of all these settings that are just all hard-coded. I want to be able to really easily just like, oh, like come back later and oh, yeah, here's a setting we didn't think of. I want to be able to add that in and easily like set it up and hook it up, you know, and not have to get too crazy with it. So if I do an array here, window mode options, and then let's say so window mode options would be windowed, full screen. Whoops. Accidentally opened the launcher. Okay, and then borderless full screen or windowed full screen is what they call it sometimes too. I'm gonna call it borderless full screen though for now. That's the term that I'm familiar with. Now, okay, so if I have that array, then actually I wonder what happens if I do just make that here, but I make it public. What happens to that? Let's go see. Oh, and then it pops up there. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that. Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna take that approach. Let's try that out. So options. And I'm gonna rename this category to option selector properties. I'm gonna put that under the same category. Oops, there should not be space in there. That's, that causes a weird bug. If you leave a space in there and then you drag it up here, then these two options will be in two identically named categories here, which is pretty confusing, to say the least. Okay, cool. So now that that's not living in the original widget component, then every instance of that option selector widget will have its own array of options that I can define right here in the designer view. So now I can come here and say windowed, full screen. Yeah, this feels more comfortable to do it here in the designer view. At least I think so. Borderless, full screen. Of course, at some point I may end up abstracting it out to its own like blueprint structure, or maybe probably enumerators actually. Yes, enumerators, because enumerators can run a switch. Yeah, I didn't think about that, because that would be really handy for setting. Well, I guess it depends. If you want to do something completely different for each option, because if you have an enumerator for, like, say, the windowed mode options, then you could come in here and switch on. You get these switch nodes, and you can pipe in whatever the enumerator's value is, and then do something completely different, execute different code based on which option is selected. But in the case of window mode, they wouldn't be completely different things being executed. It would always be executing, setting the window mode. So, like, for example, get game user settings, get default window mode. Oh, is this already in enum? What does this give us? Aha, look at that. So we can get it. It already has full screen, windowed, full screen, or windowed. Set. How do I set windowed mode, I wonder? Interesting, I can get the default window mode. I know how to set it manually with the resolution, but super excited for the large world optimizations coming to UE4. Oh, is there new large world optimization coming in 4.19? Square pack? Epic Games Stockholm will be a thing really soon. Oh, that's cool. They got some of the devs from Avalanche Studios. Nice. Epic Games Stockholm, how cool. You have any idea what they're going to be focusing on at Epic Stockholm? Or because, like, I know most of the Epic Studios all kind of have, like, their main field of expertise. Like, Epic Seattle, they focus on VR and web stuff. VR and web stuff. And I think partner stuff, too. But I'm curious if you know what the Stockholm office might be focusing on. That's pretty cool. Epic Games Stockholm. Epic in Sweden. You don't know? Okay. Oh, we'll find out eventually, I'm sure. That's cool, though. Okay, so I thought there was a way to... Okay, let's just explore the settings here. Resolution. So there's get full screen mode. Oh. Can I do that? I can set full screen mode at least. Oh, there it is. Wait, so default window mode. It's called set full screen mode. Okay. So either way, my point is that, oh, and this takes in an enumerator. I wonder... Preferred full screen, last confirmed. Man, they got a lot of good options in here. Anyways, so the enumerator thing is great because you get a switch statement, a switch node, where you can just go off and do something different based on what was chosen in the enum. But in this case, like, I feel like for most of the time in a settings menu, we're always going to be, whatever comes out of here, we're always going to be doing the same thing. if we have an option left, then we're going to set, we're just going to set full screen mode. We're going to set that mode. But in this case, see, this is interesting though. You set it based on, I mean, I guess I could do a switch and then, you know, have this copied 3 times. But I feel like I should be able to, maybe a select node. Can you add options to a select node? No, it always selects between option 0 and 1, I think. So not a select node, that's not what oh wait, add option pin. Okay, see, so maybe I could do something here, oh, but then no, but see, still, how do what do I plug in? So if I have a string, for example, what the heck would I plug in to that? So like window mode, and here I can get access to get options, right? But then you'd want like a selected option. Because they got the lead R&D guy from Avalanche Studios. I think that means we would get support for large worlds. Oh. As well as a lot of optimizations for a lot of objects on the screen. Nice. Well, I'm sure that's something that a lot of developers will appreciate. Okay, so I need a way to get whatever option is selected. So when I press a button, we're going to say iterate through an array, right? Just Cause 2 was like 400 square miles in total. Wow, that's a lot. Yeah, there are open world games made with Unreal. I guess you could. I don't know if you would consider. I don't know if you'd consider PUBG to be open world. It seems open world to me. I haven't played it, but that's got a pretty big map. That's made with Unreal Engine 4. And gosh, there's something else. Square Peg, maybe you know. There was something else that came out last year too. I thought that was a big open world game and it was made with Unreal. Oh yeah, what about Ark Survival Evolved? That was one. That was another big one. So PUBG, Ark Survival Evolved. Both Unreal Engine 4 games. I think there's a couple other ones too, but I don't remember off the top of my head. Yeah, that's all I can think of. Can't really find anything else either. Oh yeah, Sea of Thieves. Is that an Unreal game? I think it is. That definitely looks open world. Looks pretty cool too. So this seems kind of hinky, but maybe I guess I could have an array here. I guess I could go, when I hit the next option, I could, you know, go to the next index in the array. When I hit the previous button, I can go to the previous index in the array. When I reach 0 or the last one, then that's when I would disable the button. I wonder. Now let's just get rid of this actual setting stuff here and see if I can just make something like that work. I'm sure there's a much better way to do this, but I'm just kind of trying to get a feel for this, for how to approach this. And with stuff like this, I know it's complex and whatever, but I tend to figure this out better, just kind of by trying stuff and then failing and then going and like, okay, now I'm gonna try to like plan this out. Maybe if I try to plan it out at first, I spend too much time planning. Maybe because I just don't have enough data, you know, especially something like this that I've never done before. So I gotta try it first and kind of, you know, kit bash it, you know, even if it's really ugly and doesn't work really that great, and then go off and plan and come up with that more efficient approach. Yeah, let's see. Okay, so how would I... how do you do this in Blueprint? How do I... I guess I would just like say set current index or get, and I'd probably want a reference in this case, so get, and then see, look at the length of this array. So if I wanted to get the first option in the array, no, that's not gonna work out. Already getting confusing. See, this is the kind of stuff that's making me think that I should just use a drop-down menu, because I don't know if I'm really like good enough with Blueprint to create my own option selector like from scratch and really account for all the intricacies and whatnot. So what are you working on visually in the UI, like menu screen options? Yeah, so this is just kind of like, the reason these options are all kind of like random is that this is just like kind of like my sandbox right now. This is kind of a debug settings menu where I'm trying out this approach where I have, so like when you're here in UMG, you already have, there's like built-in widgets. There's a button, a checkbox, you know, an image, a progress bar, a slider, but they only give you so much. So like, for example, here's my slider. I've got a label for what the setting is. There's the actual slider you interact with. There's the number, the value that you're setting it to. And I have some custom interaction stuff going on there too to make it snap to certain intervals. But see, if you just drag in like the default slider, it is, here, this bad example. I'll create a blank widget to show you. Test widget, why not? So like here's like a blank canvas, right? If I just drag in the default slider, it's just that slider control, you know? It doesn't have the text, it doesn't have like a visual representation of the value that you're setting it to. So what I wanted to do was create my own custom one. So here's my slider. It's my own individual widget, and it has the actual slider control, plus it's got the text fields for the label, the name of the setting, and then the value. And what that lets me do is I come in here to my settings menu, and you'll see like I have field of view as a slider there. So now that other widget that I created, that slider widget, it appears here under the user created category. And now I can just drag one in here into my menu items, and I have a new instance of that same slider, but it's got these, and I can customize the properties and say, you know, what's another slider kind of thing. Let's say master volume, right? See, and now it says volume. Slider text, let's say 100 is the default. And we'll make the minimum 0 and the maximum 100. So and then you see that slider little thing just updated to match the default value. And see, that's how easy it was to set up. And now, to actually do something with that, I just click this event here, update slider value. Normally I would name this so I know what the heck it is. So like volume slider, right? Now you can see it says here, update slider value for the volume slider on this event, and it spits out this value. And then I can just go from there. So I'm trying to work with that. I'm trying to come up with this approach where I build this framework of individual widgets that are custom made to have the style and the feel that I want for our game. And then I can come in here into my parent settings menu widget and just kind of assemble them into a list and easily configure them. Now I was going to take this approach here for things with lists of options. I was going to make a custom option selector, but I think that's going to take more planning to figure out how to make that work, because I'd be doing a lot of stuff from scratch since there isn't an option selector by default. There is a combo box, which is basically like a drop-down menu, which is what this is here. I might go with that because I wasn't going to. I started to make a custom option selector because the drop-down menu used to be really, really terrible, and there was like some extra stuff you had to do. You had to create your own binding for. You had to create like a custom function basically that was attached to this thing to be able to style the individual items that were, you know, when you click on it and it expands and shows the little menu and the little list. You had to do some extra work to like customize the look of those, and it was a big pain. But now they've actually added all the styles you need to configure it nicely right here in the details panel. So I'm actually reconsidering. I might use that. I might just use a drop down. You know, because it's a familiar pattern, and the advantage that a drop down has over an option selector like this, like an inline selector, is the inline selector looks nice and clean and everything, but you never know how many options are on the list, you know, kind of at a glance. With the drop down you do. The drop down you can just click it once and you can see, even if you can only see like 5 out of 10 options at a time, you can see the scroll bar. You can get an idea of how many options there are, like right away. This, you can never really clearly get an idea of how many options there are. You can just click through the list, up and down the list until it runs out, until it reaches the end, and then you kind of like, oh, okay, so there's. It's just not, you know, cognitively, it's not very easy to grasp how many options are there. So I might end up going with a drop-down just for accessibility purposes in that case. I think a drop-down would be easier to make accessible too for keyboard and controller navigation. And it would also involve less custom work on my part too, which obviously would be nice. So, let me kill that. My little demo there. Yeah, so this is getting a little weird for me. I think I need to go back and plan more to be able to do that. You know what would be cool is if you implemented your gameplay mechanic of two worlds into the interface. Like if you clicked outside the menus and it removed the boxes around text and such, or changed the background in some subtle way. Oh, like you mean like if I show the two universes, the whole alternate universe thing, if I like brought that through to the menus? Yeah, that could be pretty interesting. Jess and I have talked about like whether or not we might want to do that and like really stylize the menus and bring that personality through like every aspect of the game. Are the forums down for me? Yes. Oh gosh, yes. In fact, when I try to visit the forums, the official Unreal forums, I'm getting a blank page with no data. Yikes. Hope everything's alright over there. I'm just getting a blank page. You're getting a 503? Let's see. Check the console here. Network. Oh yeah, I'm getting a 503 too, I see it. I check DevTools. 503. Wonder what's going on. Service unavailable, I mean, that's what a 503 is, so I guess... Oh. I don't know how accurate this is, but if you check the headers, I don't know if either of you guys are into web development enough to check the HTTP headers in the DevTools in your browser, 503 service unavailable. It says backend server is at capacity. Yeah. So maybe maybe a hosting issue, which is pretty rough if that's the case. Honestly, I wish that yeah, I don't know what's going on. That's pretty weird. Probably a DDoS. Yeah, it might be. They've dealt with it before. Honestly, I wish that, I really wish that Epic would... I know it's... I've talked to them about it before. It would obviously be a huge undertaking, and it's not a high priority, I guess, for them, but I really think they should consider changing to a different forum software. vBulletin definitely has some advantages and some great features, but I was telling them before that I think they should give Discourse a try. Discourse is a really nice piece of forum software, really great security and features out of the box. It's incredibly customizable. They could it would have support for their forum badges too, and the forum badges would I think could even be better if they use Discourse. A lot of things could be better, I think. I think Discourse would be a great fit for Epic's community, but you know, that would require somebody with the expertise, and it would require changing hosting, doing a migration, which you can do a migration. There is, I believe, a Discourse import plugin for vBulletin. Now, you're talking about a lot of data too. That's the other big thing, is you're talking about importing a lot of data. So there would have to be really great. There'd have to be like the importer would have to be very robust, is what I'm trying to say. You'd have to make sure that all those thousands of records would be safe, you know, that the migration would be safe and that none of the data would get corrupt. Because you got all the users, all the posts, all the attachments. There's a lot of stuff that would have to come over. That would be a heck of a migration, but I think it would be worth it, personally. You're gonna start a forum thread when the forums come back up? Oh, they're back. That was pretty quick. Oh yeah, there they are. That's good. That is good. The other thing is Discourse is easier to theme too, and it's easier to have multiple themes, like a light and dark theme. It's really nice. Alright, so delete that test widget. I'm gonna create a drop-down menu to compare with the option selector, because if this ends up being a simpler approach for me, I'm just gonna go with this. Okay, so it's been a while, so I'm gonna want to well, this one wouldn't do. I would need a label too, but let's go ahead and do this. Canvas panel. I want a horizontal box. Let's see, drop down container, I'll call that. And then in there, we'll grab, here it is, combo box. I wonder if I could use a spin box. I'm gonna take a look at this too. Never used a spin box. Oh, yeah, that's why. I keep seeing that and thinking like, ooh, a spin box, but yeah, that's not what I'm looking for. That's kind of like what they use for the little, like this. This is a spin box, this little slider that goes up and down with a float value, a numerical value. Let's see. Drop down. Drop down menu is the name of the widget, so I guess this will be. Drop down items, maybe? Nah. I feel like that, maybe I should rename that drop down menu, and then the name of the widget should be drop down selector. Or I'll just, you know what, just drop down. I'm gonna call it a drop down. Yeah, I like that. Simple, concise. Good. Alright, so drop down container. Here we got this drop down menu. And then we need a label, a text label. Drop that in here. Whoops, accidentally opened documentation. What the heck? Will, what's what the heck? What has confounded you? Alright, so reorder this. I want these both to be variables. Now, the forums just magically got back on. I wouldn't say magically. There's probably some sort of failsafe that kicked in when the server reached capacity for one reason or another. They probably have a system in place, a failsafe in place that either reboots the server and locks out incoming connections for a bit or something like that. It just kind of restarts everything. That's probably all that happened. Let's see. So now I've got to define a size. Let's see. What was I doing? 750 I think is the width I've been working with. 750. Size Y 36. Okay. Looking good. Now we need to set up our custom font. Okay, let's do the label first. Font family, enter UI. What am I doing for, I should have kept that other one open. Looks like we're doing regular weight for the setting name. Yeah, I think so. Actually, I'm gonna keep that other one open there just for reference to see if I have, what the font size is and what kind of padding I added. Okay, so padding, 10 pixels on the left, 16 pixel font size, justification, vertical alignment, that's what I want. Vertical alignment, I want to center it like that. There we go. Alright, now the drop down menu, probably just gonna fill like that. Let's see, yeah, I think I'll do that. I'll do fill, and then, oops, sorry, that was kind of loud. I was just dropping my glass of water on the coaster. Oof, an hour is almost up. That was another thing I said at the beginning of the stream that you probably didn't hear because my mic was muted. This is gonna be a pretty short stream. I'm gonna actually end it soon because I have other stuff to do today. So tonight was just kind of like a short, 1 hour long-ish evening stream. I want to. Oh, you know, maybe I could do that. I could fill with that instead. I'll set the label to fill. And then this to auto? Well, maybe I want that to be fill too, actually. And then I will do 100 pixels of left padding. You have to go back to the slog and sleep. Yeah, I will be streaming tomorrow. Yeah, I'll stream tomorrow, earlier tomorrow though, so probably around 2 or 3 p.m. in the afternoon. And I'll probably be streaming for a couple hours, maybe 3 hours if the stream goes really well. Yeah, that's my usual time. It's like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. All right, so I feel like yeah, I feel like I should have this centered too, like so. Oh, but then it looks kind of weird, like too thin. That's funny. I should fill it, and then and perhaps a small amount of padding on the top and bottom will work. Yeah, there we go. The real question though is, do I want? Yeah, I need some right padding on this thing too, for over here. Oh yeah, here's the one. There we go. I think I like that. Alright, so let's start styling this menu a little bit. Let's get this going before I sign off. Let's see, I already got the font. Well, I haven't set the font on here. Combo button style, so that's like the style for this whole thing. Like you can even style the little arrow here, the little caret for the drop down. You can change the pressed sound and the selection sound, which is really nice. Menu border brush. I think that's the background. Button style, normal, hovered, pressed, disabled. Okay. And you could do padding for each of the individual buttons too. Alright, and the item style, this is really cool that you can finally style all this stuff. This didn't used to be here. I'm really happy about that. Let's see. Foreground color. And then we have these events. On selection changed and on opening. On opening? I don't know what that's for. Called when a new item is selected in the combo box, right? Opening called when the combo box is opening. Okay, so when I click it to like expand it, I guess that's when that gets called. All right. So let's see. So for the event, excuse me, my goodness, yawning so much. On selection changed. There we get these outputs: selected item and selection type. What does this give me? On key press, on navigation, on mouse click, on direct. Oh, that's cool that I can get those. So that'll help with doing keyboard support, and that could help with doing controller support too. Very nice. Cool. All right, and then what about the on opening? Okay, so that's just to notify something that, hey, I've opened the menu. Do something. So if I wanted to play like an animation or something like that. You want to stop in 4 more minutes at 7:15. 7:15 my time, of course. Yeah, 4 minutes, then I'll stop. Alright, well. Don't know that I would need to do anything when the menu is open. Oh, except maybe that's when I would want to, No, I can't think of anything like that. Alright, so this. We're gonna make an event dispatcher for that. And make some inputs to match the selected item and the selection type, in case we want to do something with that. Oops. There we go. I think that's the one. And I don't know what I'm going to do here yet, but I'm just going to go, for now, I'm going to go ahead and plug this in. See, and then we can just feed those in, right? Here's the cool thing about this. When you create an event dispatcher like this, in this widget, then if I come over here, and I'm going to get rid of this drop-down widget, and instead, I'm actually going to bring in my custom one. We'll say that this is window mode. Oh, let me get rid of the other one first. There we go. Window mode, right? And then I need to expose all those options. Drop down menu, drop down label. So these default options, selected option. Can I, let's see, drop down options. How could I maybe, can I bind that? No, I can't. Ah, this might be tricky. Let's see. Drop down menu. See, but we get all these goodies though. Add options, clear options, find option index, get option at index, get option count, get selected option, and set selected option. A lot of good stuff in there, so I wonder if I could do this. This default options does not seem to be accessible anywhere outside of this widget, so that's kind of a bummer. Weird. Selected option. That could be animated. Huh. Maybe if I add something to these default options. Milk, tea, cookies. Get content padding. Wow. It's not here. Can't access that. What? Huh. Well then. Yeah, I might have to go back to the drawing board again. This might be harder than I thought. Maybe that'll be a good stopping point then. I mean, I can add options here, but that's weird that that's not exposed. This default options under content. Yeah, it's not there. Oh, what's that? Totally unrelated, but what is this node? Get default screenshot options for rendering. Resolution, delay. Whoa. What a nifty thing. Accidentally discovered something else cool that's totally unrelated. Alright, I'm gonna have to go back and do some planning to make this work. Drop down, or not, it's drop down is gonna be a pretty, a little more complex. I have done a resolution picker before, but that was like a specific thing where I did it right here in the drop downs graph, not in, you know, another parent widgets graph. What happens if I do this? Can I get some data off of here? I wonder? I can get that, at least I can get that widget. And then I can access those combo box options here, so that's good at least. Okay, so I can at least do all this stuff here, but yeah, I'm gonna try to rethink my approach on that. I'll step back and do some planning for this because those will be a lot more complex than all the other widgets that I've done so far. So I'm gonna end it there, and I'll get back to this tomorrow after I've done some planning of it. Will Squarepeg, thanks for joining me. It was fun having you guys around. And hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow. So I'll be back tomorrow around 2 to 3 p.m. Probably 3 p.m., but I might be able to do it as early as 2. Well, let's aim for 3 p.m. 3 p.m. Pacific time. I'll be back tomorrow around that time. So, until then, I hope you guys have a good night, and I will see you later. Take care.